Pump track is a lot like pizza. Everybody likes it. And since 2008, we've been in the business of holy rollers and beautiful berms. Wait, what? 12 years? Word. The Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7 is coming your way right now. The reigning Crankworx Pump Track champs are both here to mix it up. But the USA's Keilani Hines and France's Adrian Loron will both have to beat back a stacked field of pump track assassins if they're looking to repeat. In theory, the head-to-head format is simple, but in reality, it's crazy competitive. All pump, no pedal. Often imitated, never duplicated. The Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7 live on Red Bull TV from the biggest little mountain bike festival in the Southern Hemisphere, Crankworx Rotorua. 26 ain't dead.
What's up, my people? Under the lights here in beautiful Rotorua, New Zealand. Day 3 of competition at stop number 1 on the Crankworx World Tour. It's all about pump track today. Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. I'm going to be your host. My name's Cam McCall, and I'm hanging out with my good buddy and downhill racing legend, Andrew Needling. Pump track time, buddy.
Well, like you said, it's like pizza. Who doesn't like pump track? We get people from all different disciplines coming here, racing, having fun, and it's under the lights.
It's the great equalizer. We take their chains off and we let them just strip it back. It's like an acoustic set. It's like who has the most control over that bicycle, who can generate the most speed out of those rollers, paint the correct line in those berms. It starts out chill and mellow. You know, it just ramps up in intensity as we work our way through those brackets. A lot of big names out there competing. Of course, we started the festival, which also kicks off the season at the Tupuia Cultural Center. This is the way we do it every single year, a ceremonial welcome. The Maori culture is rich down here in New Zealand. And here we have some of the top riders in the world. Thomas Slavic accepting the ceremonial challenge stick. It's nice of them to wish us a nice warm welcome and good luck for all the events out here, and we appreciate that warm welcome. There's Adrian Loron, Emil Johansson, all taking part in the festivities right there. And that's the way we started the week, and wow, has it been a doozy so far. We've had so many events, slalom, speed and style. We had slope style earlier today, and that was a ridiculous show, but the day's far from over.
I don't know how you still have energy. Watching slopestyle was great on site, but it's still heating up. We've got pump track, we've got downhill tomorrow. We are not done yet.
No, we're far from done. And let's talk about some of the top riders we should be looking out for today. Adrian Loron, the guy has been on fire last season. Let's see if he can carry the momentum.
Well, Adrian Loron, we have seen him. He gets frustrated at this event. He takes pump track more seriously than anyone I know. He is looking good, not qualifying at the top end of the field, not what he's used to, but he's in there within a shout.
Yeah, so keep your eyes on him. Do you remember last year, pump track in Whistler, this guy Tommy Zula taking the gold?
He was on fire. He is here. He's qualified in the top 5. Look for Tommy Zula to be a threat tonight.
I mean, beating Adrian Loron, the guy who locked up the 2019 Crankworx Pump Track World Championship. If you can beat Loron, you could probably beat anybody out there, but there's a whole lot more you're going to have to beat than just Adrian Loron. How about this guy, Rachael Strait, the guy who started this week strong by winning slalom?
And when you say strong, that's a man that was breaking chains all the way to victory in slalom. Rachael Strait, always a threat in pump track.
There we go, the brilliant mechanical mind of Ray Waxham there helping Rachael Strait out with his bike. I don't know, probably, well, he's not going to be fixing the chain this time. He snapped a chain in slalom, was one of the craziest things we've ever seen. The guy is so strong, but pump track is all about taking that chain off. So we don't have to worry about that from Rachael Strait. You know what? He's actually leading the king of Crankworx overall right now.
Yeah, I mean, he came in, he entered more events than normal. He's clearly going for that king of Crankworx title, and he's leading it already. So that's a great start to the year. But there are a lot of events. Someone like Adrian Long, he's always getting points in pump track. So look at him.
All right, that's the men. Let's talk about the women. We were talking about Kyle leading the king overall. How about the reigning queen from the 2019 season, Via Verbeek?
Well, That's our reigning champion, but she's got a huge challenge here. Jill Kintner is back. She's literally made it known she's back for that title.
Speaking of Jill, there she is on screen. She's looking hungry, isn't she?
She is. She's already got a host of wins. I mean, it's just going to be tough to stop her, and this is another event. She's won more pump tracks than any other woman around.
Last year, there was one woman who was really striking with Jill Kintner not doing a full season. She took over the Crankworx Pump Track World Championship title. I'm talking about Collin Hudson. Unfortunately, not going to be competing in pump track because of this, Andrew.
No, unfortunately not. She was looking strong, but she just landed nose heavy. She's taken a really big hit to her head. She is okay, but she will not be competing tonight. What's great to see, there's a concussion protocol. Crankworx has a doctor that's here, and they've ruled her out of the competition tonight. And I think that's great that Crankworx is doing that. That's safer for everyone. It's disappointing for her, but health and safety is more important than gold medals at this stage. So that's great to see for the athlete. They've got one doctor they can see, and Crankworx is taking this really importantly.
For sure. We'll let her heal up, and hopefully she'll be back in Innsbruck. All right, you know it's the Pump Track Challenge, but you haven't seen the course yet. We got a new course this year. It's exciting. What do you say we throw a camera on the one and only Thomas Lemoyne for this GoPro course preview? Go.
Hi everyone, it's Thomas Lemoyne. This is the Crankworx Rockshox Pump Track Challenge GoPro Cruise Preview. Let's go. So this is the funniest feature, the spine onto the first line, into the first berm, big and steep. Second line, bit technical, into the last one, straight up into the end.
Woo. All right, I'm down with that. Starting it out with a fun spine. Who knows? We might see riders manualing that entire final straightaway. I was watching practice. I saw Tommy Zula do that. That's kind of like when you're hanging 5 on a longboard and it's just going and you can't believe it, but you're still going. So this should be good. If you're new to a pump track race, Andrew, walk the people through how the format works.
Well, we're taking the chains off, so it's fair for everyone. A minimum of 26-inch wheels. It's a qualifier format to get things going. We take the top 16 men, top 8 women, we bracket them slowest against fastest, and we whittle them down all the way to the final. Obviously, it's a head-to-head format. 2 runs, total time, the quickest guy can advance.
Yeah,
there we have it. Your 2019 champion, Loron, he is here. But as we mentioned, Collin Hudson will not be in this event.
Yep. Elimination format. We go from 16 to 8 to 4, and then there's just 2. Only one can take the gold, and all of those valuable points for, of course, the Pump Track overall series and the King and Queen of Crankworx title hunt. A lot of action here to come. We're going to be kicking it off shortly. This is the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. Don't go away.
A lot of it just comes down to like nerves and who can get out of the gate and make it happen.
Some guys are just impossible to beat nowadays.
I really wanted to show everyone what type of rider I was.
I could hear the crowd just lift.
This is like a feeling that I've never really felt in bike racing before.
Oh no!
This year, when we're talking about giving the King of Crankworx a nudge, goal would definitely be a win.
2 events in one day, I will take it. It's already been such a ridiculous day. Today we had slopestyle earlier on, and now under the lights, the stage is set for another fantastic show. What am I talking about? The Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7, and it starts right now.
A lot of it just comes down to like nerves and who can get out of the gate and make it happen.
Some guys are just impossible to beat nowadays.
I really wanted to show everyone what type of rider I was.
I could hear the crowd just lift.
This is like a feeling that I've never really felt in bike racing before.
Oh no!
This year, when we were talking about giving the King of Crankworx a nudge, goal would definitely be a win.
Okay, let's get some riders in the gate. Of course, we like to do the Pump Track Challenge under the lights with a big old moon hanging out in the sky. The moon is up, the mood is set, and here's a look at our round of 16 brackets for the men, Andrew Niebling.
And that big name on top, Bas van Stiemen, he's qualified in first position. Bubba Austin Warren at the bottom, he's in second, so they're on a collision course for each other, but we've got so much racing before we get to that final.
Ooh. Bas van Steenbergen, like you say, #1 qualifier, going up against Mason Bryant from New Zealand. So listen for the crowd to be behind him. All right, we're off and running.
So Bas van Steenbergen, without a win in pump track. Bubba as well hasn't got a win yet, so can someone win for the first time? A little bobble from Bas though. Let's see if the nerves are gonna keep on getting bigger for him as this night progresses.
Bas van Steenbergen through the line, 0.2 ahead of Mason Bryant, despite that slight bobble that you picked up on there. Bas van Steenbergen, strong week already. His performance in the slalom was so impressive. A little bit of trouble in the speed and style, but #1 qualifier here. Let's see if he can hold it through to the final round. But right now it's up for heat #2 of our round of 16 here. This is interesting. So on the right side of your screen, you got Billy Meeklum, the kid who launched his career here at this event last year during speed and style. And then Lear Miller, a ridiculously talented bike rider who is also a professional photographer. Every once in a while you see him show up to a Crankworx event, and he always impresses us. He's gonna have to get past Meeklum, the up-and-comer, if he wants to move into the round of 8.
Yeah, playing double duty. I mean, it's got to be less pressure for him. He's got a full-time job as a photographer, riding a ton as well, but Billy Meeklum qualifying just ahead of him in 8, so these guys are evenly matched. Meeklum, look at that color coordination. Is it going to pay off for him? It's a dead heat.
Whoa, no way!
Oh, well.
That is as close as it gets right there. 1/100th of a second separating Lear Miller and Billy Meeklum. Run #2, when they switch sides, will be a drag race. Barely any advantage there for Meeklum. Well, next up in the gate, Tommy Zula, the man who won the last Crankworx pump track race that was contested 7 months ago in Whistler, BC. So obviously he knows how to set up a bike for success in pump track. So check out this Pink Bike check with Tommy Zula.
We've got Tommy Zula here. He's going to show us his super sweet rod out bike here and give us a little rundown.
Yeah, this is my super sweet Airborne Skyhawk. Rockshox Pike, stands wheels front and rear, V tires, DD cockpit.
Wide rims there. What's that all about?
Yeah, super wide. We're going for maximum traction on that pump track and on those flat corners. Stands bearing wheels about 35 mil.
Beauty. What sort of tire pressures you running there? You're probably hitting some pretty big G's, hey?
Yeah, on a pump track, it was pretty funny. We were at that bike shop and saw you yesterday, and we told the guy, we're like, yeah, we want 70 PSI. And he looked at us and he was like, you're joking, right? And I was like, no, that's what we run for pump track. So yeah, probably like 60 in the rear, 70 in the front for pump track, which I think is a lot a lot more than all the other guys use, but coming from BMX, we rock like 110 in the tire, so that's actually pretty common for us.
When the pump stops pushing, that's when you're ready.
Yeah, you know when you have to like put your entire body weight on the pump just to get those last couple PSIs? That's how Tommy Zula sets his bike up. He's going to be going up against a tough competitor, Barry Nobles. American versus American, only one can make it into the round of 8. Who's it going to be?
Well, these guys have faced each other in BMX before, and here we have it on a pump track bike. Oh, a little bit sluggish for Barry over the spine. Tommy Zula's out front already. So the man on form, but it was 7 months ago. Tommy Zula will take that advantage for the next run.
So another tight matchup here, not quite as tight as the last one, but 0.16 separating Zula and Barry Noble. Zula with the advantage. All right, so Zula will have the advantage. But back up to the top, heat number 4, Thomas Slavic going up against a guy who launched his career here. We've got a pattern. Every year we seem to launch a Kiwi career. Keegan Wright did it a few years ago in the pump track. Now we see him getting results in the enduro and so on, but he's gonna have to get past Thomas Slavic, a former king of Crankworx and a pump track specialist.
Keegan now a 2-time winner. This could be a final, and I think we're going to say that a lot throughout the evening, way before we even get to the semifinals. So Keegan Wright, he's got a wheel ahead. You can hear the crowd already. I mean, this is round of 16. Their hometown boy is out front.
Jeez, listen to the decibel levels coming out of that crowd cheering on Keegan Wright, who will take the advantage out of this round, 0.17 ahead of Thomas Slavic. All right, let's take a look back at the start and explain how hard it is to get out of that gate without a chain. There's a couple different strategies they use to initiate the momentum out of the start gate.
I mean, it's something you're going to have to practice, because subconsciously you want to pedal and your weight you want to shift forward, but it's so tricky without a chain. It's foreign.
See Keegan in that start almost have to hop just to get to the transition past the start gate. Seemed to work. Oh yeah, Cody Kelly on the right side of your screen going up against Collin Hudson. Cody Kelly looked mean in practice. This kid has such good style, so much control over that bicycle. Look for nose manuals, all kinds of elements of trickery out of Cody Kelly. Collin Hudson accomplished in this discipline.
A lot of former winners here qualifying in the top 5. Cody Kelly's an all-round bike handler. Style to boot. A little bit sluggish off the start, but he's caught back a bit. Collin Hudson, another name from BMX, enjoying these Crankworx events. We often see them in Whistler, and now he's doing the full circuit. That was fast.
Hudson on fire. This will be the biggest differential we've seen so far. A 0.62 ahead of Cody Kelly. Collin Hudson looking really fast today. Let's see if we can identify where he qualified. Collin Hudson qualified 3rd, so somebody's on fire. Where are we supposed to look? So we talk about valuable points, both for the overall in each individual discipline, but also the overall for the season total for King and Queen of Crankworx. Every single discipline has points up for grabs. And if you're going for that crown, you're trying to accumulate as many points as possible, because there's big prizes up for grabs.
$25,000, Cam, to say the least. But you got to be consistent. You got to keep injury free. You got to stop having mechanicals. It takes a proper effort to get that crown. Mitch Ropelato taking the win last year, and Via Verbeek, she's our reigning queen of Crankworx.
So, 3rd day of competition in the 2020 season, and wow, it's a really tight race. Only 4 points separating 1st and 2nd there. The man at the top of that leaderboard is the guy on your screen right now, the next rider in the gate, Rachael Strait. Lemoyne picked up some big points from that 4th place in the slopestyle earlier today, so only 4 points separating them. But Rachael Strait, if he wants more points, he's going to have to get past his good Betty, Luca Cometti.
Straight qualifying in 6th position, but let's not be despondent with that, because in the slalom he only qualified in 7th and he went on to take the win. So Kyle's experience, he's a guy that can really figure out a track as the night goes on and squeeze those little seconds out of it.
It's crazy. You always see like this crew, Kyle Strait, Luca Cometti, Austin Warren, you always see them getting pitted against each other in these head-to-head format races. They train in the San Diego area together. They have multiple slalom tracks they use to train. 0.19 seconds is the advantage for Kyle Strait here.
That fast? In the lights or what? Just a burn. You're going so fast.
I always like to listen in and listen to the banter after each run here. So next matchup, Adrian Loron on the left side of your screen going up against, he's a junior New Zealand downhill racer, so a young kid who's absolutely showing so much promise. Tehuto Ariki Pene. But look at this, this is a cool new feature we have. We're debuting at this event right now, a heart rate monitor on Adrian Loron. It looked like he was pumping at about 111 beats per minute.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can have a look at that after the run, because pump track, yeah, there's no pedaling. It's short, but my word, is it physical, especially at this level. These guys are giving it them all. Lactic acid will start building even though it's a short run.
Oh,
wow.
This is going to be tight.
The youngster is ahead.
Tehuto Ariki Pene, 900ths of a second ahead of the world champion for Crankworx Pump Track, Adrian Loron. That is so impressive. Take a look back. Where did he find this time?
He was so good over the spine. The youngster, are we going to launch? Are we going to launch another man's career here
Seriously.
in Rotorua? Textbook from it.
I mean, this is the way we've seen it happen in the past. Connor Mahuika, Keegan Wright, Billy Meeklum.
Well, I can tell you this much, that heart rate is higher than it was in the start line, especially now that he's got a little bit of a deficit to make up.
Duke Millington on the left side of your screen out of Australia, going up against the second place qualifier from today's qualification rounds, Austin Bubba Warren.
So Austin qualifying in 2nd position. Like Bass, he does not have a win to his name in this event. What will the night hold for him? So training alongside Luca Cometti, Kyle Strait. These SoCal men are fast here on the pump track tonight.
So Bubba, 2 podiums last year, a silver in Innsbruck and a bronze in Whistler, looking to get that first pump track win, doing it right here in his round of 16, heat number 1, 0.13 ahead of Duke Millington. And now we take a look at our bracket. See those names illuminated in yellow? Tell the people what that means, Andrew.
Well, that means they got the advantage. We're going to throw them to the top, switch lanes. They've got to go at it again. But it's pump track. There's not a lot in it. At one small mistake, that's your night done.
Absolutely no room for error here in the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. We're going to get them back up to the top of the course, switch sides, and do it all over again. Don't go away. look at that crowd. They're not tired. They've been hanging out all day. They haven't adrenaline dumped from slopestyle. They still got some energy to cheer on the riders. And the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. Where is Rotorua, New Zealand? Well, take a look at what this country is comprised of. 2 beautiful islands. We're on the north one. Let's zoom it all into the Whakarewarewa Forest on board with Keegan Wright, a competitor here in the Pump Track Challenge. This is just a look at some of the riding you can expect if you decide to join us next year for Crankworx Rotorua. Come down here and make sure you don't forget to bring your bike, because there's so many ridiculously fun trails. Pump track competitors have their chains off right now, but you know, in between practice sessions, they're grabbing their trail bikes and they're taking advantage of the amazing riding this town has to offer. And it looks like we're about ready to get back to the action here. Bas van Steenbergen has a 0.2 advantage over Mason Bryant, a Kiwi racer.
And look at that, 60 PSI is going front and rear. And to give you some kind of comparison, I would say trail biking, you anything from 25 to 30 PSI, depending on how you ride. So that is a lot of PSI. But these guys are pulling some G's in those turns, and you don't want the tire to roll. And that's why you see the speeds.
Yeah, this is a bike setup that wouldn't work for anything other than a pump track race. No chain, 60 PSI. Here we go, Bas van Steenbergen seeing if he can make it into the round of 8.
Good start for him, he's out. Safely over the stall wall. So Mason Bryant needs to make up some time here, running out of track. There you have it, Bas out front again, showing why he is our #1 qualifier.
Yeah, Bas is looking to take it all the way to the finals here today. Numero uno qualifier, now advancing into the round of 8. Sending Mason Bryant packing, but a great showing for the Kiwi racer.
What's happening, my man? You got too much metal for one hand.
Lear Miller having a good time with it.
He's got his party shirt on, so we know he's having a good time. He's got no pressure.
So this man on the left side of your screen, he was an unknown at this time last year, but he burst onto the scene, most notably in the speed and style event. He was going up against Martin Soderstrom, a legend in the sport, especially in this discipline, and nobody saw this coming.
What a ride by him. I mean, look at him go. Taking down the king of speed and style, Martin Soderstrom. Billy Meekham launching his career here.
So at the
picking up
beginning of the week,
sponsors, going to all the rounds now.
yeah, he went from, wait, who's that guy, to, oh yeah, you mean Billy?
Yeah, to us scratching our head, trying to look for notes on him, to, okay, well, he's one of the guys now.
He's a fixture on the circuit now, and then he's got to go up against a guy who's got another job. No pressure on the line here. Lear Miller, only back by 100th of a second. This could be an upset.
And that's a dangerous place to be. Riding against someone that has no pressure, no expectations, maybe not even going to feel any nerves. He's just, oh.
Okay.
Well, Billy's not feeling any nerves either. He says, you know what? You know my name now, and that's who I am.
Billy doing it when it counts right there. Even though it's just 100th of a second disadvantage, when there's a red box next to your name, you go, all right, this could be it. I better make sure I have no mistakes now. So Lear Miller out means that Billy Meekham moves on to the round of 8 as we focus to our next heat in the gate. Tommy Zula going up against Barry Nobles, another tight heat. 0.16 separating these two riders, the advantage going to Tommy Zula, the man who won Pump Track in Whistler just 7 months ago. Oh, nice shot.
Yeah, good visuals here in Rotorua. Under the lights, it's Pump Track. Barry Nobles needs to do some work here. He's already half a bike back. Tommy Zula, former winner of this event.
Oh, it's only 0.16. Jeez, Barry Nobles launching the entire final straightaway, but he will finish behind Tommy Zula, who already had the advantage. So Zula into the round of 8. Barry Nobles to go join the crowd.
The Zula hopping into the downslope off the start. Both riders keep it nice and low over the stall wall. Well, he kind of knew he was out of it, but clearly slower to be jumping other than pumping.
So a bit of showmanship across the line for Barry Nobles. Oh, I think we just missed a big smooch.
I'm happy. I'm happy we missed it.
Oh, there we go. Keegan Wright. Let's take a look back at how he launched his career. It was the year 2017. Nobody knew this guy. But just like Billy Meeklum last year, that all changed quickly with a breakout performance for Keegan Wright. Now we see him, of course, competing in pump track, but also enduro. Thomas Slavic, a former king of Crankworx, 0.17 down behind Keegan Wright. Oh, you hear people cheering for Slavic there, that's rad.
Yeah, Slavic's had an injury the last year or two, so it's good to see him fit. He's making his way back, gaining some confidence, but Keegan Wright has got the wheel ahead here. Slavic might be going home early. Not looking good for Slavic at all.
Wow, there we go, the news.
Dead heat.
Wait a minute, does that mean that 0.17 was the advantage on both runs? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
So let's remember, we got 2 runs from the first run. Slavic had a 0.17 deficit.
Man.
Yeah, they tied this run, but it's not going to be enough for the man.
Okay, so that run was a tie. For a second, I thought there was a 0.17 from each run, which would have been a wash.
Fair enough. No, I don't think so.
Well, we didn't get a graphic on that one, so we'll wait. We'll keep you updated, but right now we're going to point it back up to the top of the course. Cody Kelly on the left side of your screen. Collin Hudson on the right. The advantage belongs to Hudson. It's a 0.62.
Riders ready. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
Collin Hudson is looking good already tonight. Winner of this event in Whistler. Out the last turn. Too easy for him. Collin Hudson will advance.
Oh man, classic Cody Kelly style and pop there. You know, it's just a matter of being a little bit too inside on one of those berms. Wasn't able to have the exit speed. So Cody Kelly out of the race, meaning that Collin Hudson moves on to the round of 8. Shoey, mate.
He say he's going to do one if he wins. What's he saying?
Okay, Kyle Strait. He has a 0.19 ahead of his good friend Luca Cometti.
Yeah, bragging rights on the line here. Definitely a little friendly teasing before this matchup starts.
Ready, watch the gate.
Kyle Strait with the wheel ahead already. Luca needs to make up some serious time here, which is a proper challenge here at pump track. His lanes are very even. Oh, he's made a bit of time back. Don't think it's going to be enough.
So he needed a 0.19. He only gets a 0.11, so just 0.08 of a second away from knocking Kyle Strait out. But Kyle does what he needs to do. He's moving into the round of 8. That was a strong effort from Luca Cometti. So next heat in the gate now, Adrian Loron, our champion from the overall pump track standings from last year, but a guy who's seen ups and downs. Take a look back at a couple years ago. He reflects.
I did mistakes for sure, especially 2 years ago at the pump track. I sent my bike over the fence. That's not cool. I know it's not how you're supposed to act, but of course it's not nice to see. But when you are 100% involved in something, it's really hard to be perfect. You know, I'm not saying it's all good and you have to break your bike or whatever. But yeah, it happens, and I lost a lot. I mean, I paid for it like big time.
Hey, it just means that you care. I mean, I'm sure we're all guilty of letting the emotions get the best of us. I've chucked my bike in a slopestyle run where I messed up before, so no hard feelings. Loron, you're back in action. You had a great season last year, and now 109 beats per minute. Moments before the gate drops here, he's got 900ths of a second to make up from the youngster out of New Zealand, Tuhoto Ariki Pene. Cinderella story here, Andrew.
It could be. Is this the first chapter of many for the evening? What can Pene do here? Oh, he's got the wheel already. He's putting pressure on Adrian Loron. This is the round of 16. Adrian needs to get going here. I don't think it's going to be enough.
No way.
Wow, look at the youngster go.
Wow, is this going to happen again to Hoto
So Adrian
Ariki
did
Pene?
bring some time back.
Oh, no
He
way.
advances.
He
Wow.
needed 900ths. He got 900ths.
Well, there's some reflection. Someone that knows what he did previously was wrong. Good sportsmanship from Adrian. He's got to be inside, just burning up and disappointed. The youngster coming out on top here, writing the first chapter of hopefully many into the history books here. Takes out Adrian Loron. Textbook from him.
What's really interesting here because, well, we'll just trust our screen. It says
the only way I'm feeling good tonight.
Ariki Pene will be rolling through.
I think visually it's tough for us. Like we're at an angle on that finish line. I think Adrian came with a lot of momentum. Looks like he might have been ahead, but
Well, that's
he's
going to
done
be a fun
enough,
story
man.
to watch. Ariki Pene, will he be the next rider to launch their career? All right, calm, cool, chill, collected. We don't have a, we do
Look
have a
at
heart
that.
monitor on him. Are you kidding me? 78?
78. That is a lot less than Adrian was. He's got his breathing in check. That's a cool little stat for us. At least we got a comparison.
So Austin Bubba Warren, 0.13 ahead of Duke Millington.
So how cool and calm can he stay through this run? A little bit of a wheel ahead so far. These qualifications, they mean something, but on such a short track, a small bobble, and it's done for you. And
So
there you have it.
Bubba taking that calm, cool, collected approach into the round of 8. It'll be interesting to see if that heart monitor tells a different story as we get closer to the gold medal matchup. Austin Warren, the second place qualifier, so he's got his sights set on that final round. Speaking of brackets, let's look at where we sit right now, Andrew. All right, we have a round of 8 matchups established.
And there we have it. Bas van Steenbergen up against local hero Billy McLean. Tommy Zula, he's through. Cregan Ryder's through. Collin Hudson against Rachael Strait. And look at it. Pene has gone through against Austin Warren after taking out Adrian Loron.
So crazy. We talk so much about the youngsters that launch their careers here. Will Ariki Pene be the 2020 version of Keegan Wright, Billy Meeklum, stuff we've seen in the past? Hey, look at this. We got another friend up here. Rachael Strait hanging out with us. Thanks for joining us, Rachael.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
We like having you up here. Want to get some insight.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of the racing so far?
I think it's really close. I think the track is producing some really close times, you know. I think most of the times they're being won in that corner, that outside corner right there. So, yeah, tight racing.
Kyle's had a good week already. Some ups, some downs, but an opportunity to get some more points. He's only 4 points ahead of Lemoyne in the king overall right now. So
yeah, it's tight. It's like making me bite my nails, you know. Yesterday was kind of an upset. The wind really messes with him. I don't know if it's like something that happened in Rampage years ago or
it's
you
like
know,
PTSD.
Yeah, he has PTSD with the wind, so I could feel his vibe yesterday. He wasn't vibing it, so.
It's the negative ions that are blowing off the rocks.
I think he's so big, it just like blows him. I don't know.
All right, let's take a look at the women's brackets right now because we're going to join up the women's category at the round of 8. Look what we got, Andrew.
Jill Kintner, she's out in front qualifying first. Via Verbeek, she's here. Kalani Hines is not here, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. And then Jordy Scott at the bottom. She was riding quick yesterday.
So Keelani not able to compete. She's under Crankworx concussion protocol, but of course she wouldn't miss the show. Her man Austin Warren's number 2 qualifier, so she's here to cheer him on. You know what that's like, Rachel?
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh yeah. All right, help us out with some of the racing here. We got Jill Kintner left side of your screen going up against Danielle Beecroft. Jill, the GOAT in this discipline, but Beecroft, she's won Crankworx events in the past. Here we go.
Looks like they both have a pretty good gait getting out.
Yeah, Beecroft close to the back wheel of Jill Kintner. Let's see who will cross the line first. All right, Jill with a strong lead. What will the clock say? 0.69 ahead of Beecroft. So Jill doing what we expect out of Jill Kintner. She was the number 1 qualifier. So let's look back, a replay from this run. Rachel, how dialed is Jill Kintner?
I mean, Jill corners like no other girl. She holds that middle high line, which is scary because you look at it going into it and you just picture yourself going over the berm, but Jill's not afraid to not touch her brakes and hold that middle line, which is, yeah.
So precise, but also so aggressive. Did you see her tearing up the berm there? The dirt flying off the back tire.
Yeah, and she's like, you know, she's not afraid to really push it. She knows how to pump, that's for sure.
So much experience. Of course, she's got an Olympic medal from BMX and so many medals from Crankworx Festival. She's back to try to get that queen crown back from this woman right here on the left side of your screen, Via Verbeek, the reigning queen. She's got to get past New Zealand's Shania Rawson.
Shania's got her whole family out there.
Let's listen for them cheering here. The gate has dropped.
So Via spoke a lot about working on her starts, and it's paying off because she is a bikehead, but she only qualified in 5th, which is a bit of surprise for us.
Oh man, look at this. Shania Rawson through the line, 0.12 ahead of Via Verbeek. So Via, of course, thinking about those overall queen points. She needs to make it out of the round of 8 to get those points to play defense against Jill Kintner, who's currently leading that race. All right, let's roll the tape back. Via had an early lead in the race, but that did not last. Let's see what happened, Rachel. So no real noticeable mistakes. It was just this final straightaway where Rawson put the horsepower down.
There's like a pocket that's kind of hard to see, that if you nail that pocket right there out of the second roller, out of the big corner, you can produce so much speed going into that next couple rollers into that corner. So when you mess up that little pocket, I think that can slow you down a bit, I noticed.
Yeah, it's so crazy generating speed without a chain. Of course, no chains on these bikes, but for a little insight into how to change your chain in order to have a little longevity out of your cassette, take a look at this tip from Torpedo 7.
Hey guys, Andrew here from Torpedo 7, here to teach you how to change your chain and why. So first off, a great way to change your chain is purely so you can get a whole lot more longevity out of it. The more you change your chain, the less you have to change your cassette, and it's going to keep your bike riding a whole lot smoother for a whole lot longer. So your first couple of steps for breaking the chain is find your quick link in it. From there, you want to take all the tension off your rear derailleur. So put the pin in, find your link. With your tool, you go in, close it, separate, take the quick link out. And from there, if you just thread the chain through and the chain's off, ready to put the new one on. So from there, we're going to do everything in reverse. You're going to put your chain back onto the front chain ring, so that sits in. And then from here, you guide the chain nice and smoothly down through your rear derailleur. Slap your quick links back in, retension the derailleur, just to make sure it's seated from there, put a bit of pressure through, linked in, and we're good to go. And that's how you change your chain, quick, smart.
Well, thanks for the tip there, Torpedo 7. All these riders will be putting the chain back on their bike and can use that advice tomorrow morning. Right now, Mathilde Bernard, she's won a pump track event a couple years ago. Now Jenna Hastings from New Zealand trying to make it through past Bernard.
And Mathilde Bernard winning in Leger. Now it's awesome to see her at all these events, putting her name in the hat there, qualified in 3rd position. And out front, and keeping that winning margin.
So Mathilde Bernard, 0.08 of a second ahead of Jenna Hastings now. Mathilde, of course, took the silver medal in Innsbruck last year, so she'd like to return to that podium. Doing it right here. All right, look at the women's brackets right now after we've dropped 3 of those 4 heats in the round of 8.
Jill Kintner, you see her name in yellow, that means she's got the advantage. And then we go down via Verbeek. She is down. Mathilde Bernard has the advantage going into run number 2.
All right, one more run to go here. The round of 8, run number 1 for the women. And look at that, a familiar face from last night. She took the gold in the inaugural international event for the women's category in speed and style. All about speed here today for Jordy Scott. She's gonna have to get past Harriet Burbage-Smith.
Neck and neck into the first roller section. And there's the turn you spoke about, Rachel. Those turns are key to drive momentum into this last straight.
Oh. So Jordy Scott through the line first by 0.46. Jordy not only won the speed and style last night, but she took 2nd in pump track in Whistler.
You know, we went to the Polynesian spa today, saw Jordy there, so I think the, you know, alkaline water helped her out.
Something's working. I mean, she's been on fire the last 2 nights.
Nah, it's all that practice she's been getting in the off season.
All right, so run number 1 in the round of 8 for the women is in the books. Now we focus our attention back to the men's category. First heat we're going to see is Bas van Steenbergen, the number 1 qualifier, going up against the kid, Billy Meeklum. And there they are. A lot of pressure being the number 1 qualifier here for Bas van Steenbergen. But he's no stranger to that. We saw him qualify first in slalom earlier in the week. Went on to get 2nd place.
It's a lot of pressure, but you've got to put yourself in that position because you, in theory, have the easiest route to the final and the easiest route to that gold medal. But expectations rise as these rounds go on. Bas is looking good though, he's looking sharp in those turns.
Billy close though, just 0.2 back. And what does 0.2 mean? It basically means in the 2nd run, Bas cannot make a mistake because 0.2 is very easy to lose. So Billy Meeklum, a little bit of work to do. All right, Rachel, you see how they're patting each other on the back? Your husband, Kyle Strait, he doesn't do hugs when he's racing. No hugs, but everybody tries to force themselves on him.
Yeah, I think now it's like known, so they like want to hug him.
Everybody's just messing with him.
Yeah,
He's getting violated.
He does a handshake, he just won't hug during comps.
Hey, but he's the huggiest person ever outside of comps.
I don't know.
Funniest thing I've ever seen.
He's got weird rules.
All right, Tommy Zula and Keegan Wright, here we go.
This is a big one as well. This easily could be a final. These 2 winners of this event, Keegan Wright, listen to the crowd.
Oh yeah, this is going to be so close.
Wow. Zula looked like he ran high in that berm.
Keegan Wright by 900ths. This is a really consistent gap we're seeing in these run 1. It's the 800ths of a second, 900ths of a second range. Let's take a look back at a replay at the finish line. Let's see what 900ths of a second really looks like. It is nothing. Blink of an eye.
Oh.
All right.
Ooh.
So that's what Tommy Zula will have to make up when they switch the side. I sometimes wonder when they manual through the line, are you manualing over the laser? Oh, look who we got. You know a couple things about this guy in the gate next. I'm just gonna let you take over.
I wonder what he's thinking about right now.
All right, well, tell me how he's got his suspension set up for this.
Very, very, very stiff. And, you know, he's probably got max PSI in the tires as well. So maybe over max. He always tells me to run like 60. I'm like, maybe 40 for me, probably 60 for you. He's very focused, though. He wants it this year. He's been putting in the work just like everybody has, and, you know, he's still out there, very competitive.
So competitive. You guys have such a rad training compound in your yard, and that's been so key for him the last few years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been, you know. But Collin is also very accomplished, so this will be a good heat.
Good point. Collin Hudson and Rachael Strait on course right now. Only one can make it in to the next round. Oh, this is going to be tight.
And I think this is what Strait needs. He didn't qualify as high as he wanted, but look at it, when the pressure's on, he comes out swinging.
Whoa. Oh, man.
Oh, my
400ths of a second. The advantage going to Rachael Strait. Collin Hudson is so close. All right, let me see your fingernails now.
They're
Where'd
off.
they go?
I don't have any left. I usually make a lot more noise, but I was trying to be, you know, didn't want to hurt anybody's eardrums out there.
Don't censor yourself. Let her rip.
Yeah, this is pump track. That's why you're here. It's under the light. We're having a good time. The rider's having a good time.
Oh, you know this guy too.
I know, we got all these, you know, SoCal guys out here.
Oh, man, check it out. Earlier, he was at like 88 or 78 in the gate. Now, look at this, 124 BPM. Just like we say, pump track starts out chill, and then it just ramps up in intensity.
He knows he's against another local guy.
Yeah, the pressure's on. Chapter 1 is written in the Cinderella story here. What can Pene do? Oh, and he's got the jump, Pene does.
Oh, man.
He's got the wheel ahead. This is great.
Listen to the
Austin. Oh, no, a mistake from the youngster, the inexperience, unfortunately shining through here.
Man, he was really doing it. He had the crowd behind him. Tuhoto Enrique Pene with a mistake, which leads him to a 1.48 disadvantage behind the second place qualifier, Austin Warren. Oh man, I thought we were gonna have another one. All right, let's take a look back, replay style, of this mistake. Just jackknifing the berm here. So aggressive. All right, watch this front tire. Oh, okay.
Oh, he's just pulled out the berm a little bit too early. He's gone inside there, and he almost slipped, Cam. We can't see inside that berm how slick it is. There's maybe some dew or something.
So it wasn't really a problem with the berm. It was kind of his exit angle led him to the inside of that roller.
It was just too tight on that berm and slid.
Okay, well, you never know what to expect here in the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. We are going to get these athletes back up to the top of the course, switch sides, do it all over again. Some very tight matchups here. I'm curious to see how things will shake down. Who will make it into the round of 4? We'll find out shortly. Stick around. Party time, mountain bike fans. Look at the crowd we have on hand here for the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. Things are heating up. We've got another run to go here for both the men's and women's categories in the round of 8. Speaking of the women's category, look at the queen of Crankworx standing so far, Jill Kintner. Looking good, but not necessarily running away with it. Via Verbeek, the reigning queen from the 2019 season, only 60 points behind. So she'll be looking to add to that tally here tonight. Jill Kintner will be looking to increase her lead. It looks like she's loading up in the gate right now. So this is going to be run number 2 between Jill Kintner and Danielle Beecroft. Jill has a .69 advantage. Beecroft, a little bit of work to do here.
Imagine trying to figure out how many gate start Jill's done in her life, including practice, Cam, with all that racing, BMX, mountain bikes.
It's like, how many burritos have I eaten? It's just too many.
Just too many. And just like you, she probably does so many gate starts to practice. It's insane.
.44, so Jill already had the advantage. That means she will easily skate through. That's what you will not see your husband doing.
No, I was just about to say that. After competition, though, he'll pick you up, give you a big hug.
Oh, man. All right, Jill Kintner, the first rider to solidify her spot into the semifinals. Who will she have to race? It will either be Via Verbeek or Shania Rawson. Now, Via, she needs to upset a disadvantage here behind Shania Rawson if she wants to move through and defend that spot she's got sitting there in the queen overall standing. She's 60 points behind, so there's a lot of pressure on Via Verbeek right now. She had this to say about her approach for this season. You know, she has these certain disciplines that she traditionally triumphs in, but she wants to expand herself across the whole spectrum of disciplines, become an all-around stronger player. You can tell she's been putting in the work in the off-season to do just that. I mean, even in speed and style last night, she was doing no-handers, both tuck and suey. So now, put the tricks away. It's all about trying to beat Shania Rawson by more than .12.
And this is where she's got to focus on her own race.
She's got a great gate.
Yeah, she did. And even if Shania comes back, this is exactly what she needs. Put some pressure on Shania Rawson via Verbeek. Lifting up.
Remember, .12 is the number. Oh, Rawson comes back.
Oh.
Whoa. Only 200
not going to be enough.
Second.
That is disappointing. That's going to hurt for Queen of Crankworx points.
Wow. Yeah, sad face from Via Verbeek. Jill is looking to extend that queen lead right now.
A valiant effort by Via, but just not enough.
There was one moment at the early on part of the race where I feel like she just didn't connect to the backside of the transition on one of these rollers. Let's take a look. It was after the stall wall, and that's where the 200ths of a second blew away. That one, that's the one that I thought.
Yeah, she seems hesitant into that first turn with all the speed she carried down the first straight. Is it that hesitation?
Well, Verbeek out. Let's see if Shania Rawson can make it count. Hey, what do you say we throw a headset on Shania and see how she's feeling?
Shania, what a race. 0.02. How do you feel about advancing?
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Via such a big competition. It was awesome. I'm not having the best starts, but I feel like I'm quite strong in the straight, so I'm making it up a bit.
You are absolutely strong in the straights right there. You can make up for it there even if you have a slow start. But are you going to focus on trying to get that extra ounce of energy out in the start? Because it's just going to get harder as you move through these rounds, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's something I definitely need to focus on coming through to the other rounds for sure.
Well, all the best. You're on to the next round.
Thank you.
All right, Shania Rawson will get back to the top of the course, and it's going to be exciting to see who she'll be going up against. Right now, Mathilde Bernard has 0.08 of a second advantage over Jenna Hastings.
Did you know Jenna is 15 years old?
Stop it.
Yeah, she's 15 years old. This is she was a wild card here for Pump Track.
Yeah, I was looking up on her Instagram. She's an absolute youngster in all disciplines here. That's amazing to see her out here. And she's giving Mathilde Bernard a run for her money here.
Yeah.
Keeping her honest. Look at it, Kat.
Oh, man, what is this clock going to say? Another 0.08 of a second.
Well, then, now we're talking tie, I thought. Oh, okay, sorry. Got it wrong the other way. Just hoping for a tie there more than anything.
So Mathilde Bernard, a former winner in this discipline at Crankworx, will now advance into the round of 4. We're really getting down to the nitty gritty, aren't we? We're already talking about the round of 4.
I would definitely say Jenna's a lady to watch, right?
Yeah.
15 years old out there battling against the top women in the world in this discipline.
Maybe give her one more year and then she'll be the fairy tale. But she's, you know, now we've heard the name now, though. So it won't be as special.
All right, another lady to watch. She's been on fire all week. Jordy Scott. If you remember, just yesterday, Jordy Scott took the gold here in convincing fashion by throwing tuck no-handers on the first jump, tire grabs on the second jump, and just having blistering speed throughout the whole course. She took out the reigning queen via Verbeek, who had some tricks of her own, racing the hardtail on the speed and style course.
It's definitely super cool to see the women pushing themselves in this discipline.
No, I like it. It's so cool. For the last few years, people have been talking about what about a women's category in speed and style. The time has finally come for that discipline, and I believe the time has come for Jordy Scott to work her way into the upper echelon of female Crankworx competitors. So Jordy Scott has a .46 ahead of Harriet Burbage-Smith going into this run 2 in their round of 8 heat.
So she's got a good advantage here, but she can't let up. Jordy Scott edging ahead here into this back berm. Oh! She's letting it slip a bit here.
Wow, okay, well, she had .46 to play with, so she still did it, but that'll be something for her to think about in the back of her mind. You don't want to make that type of mistake.
It's hard to stay high in that last big corner. She dropped a bit low in that, which I think lost a little bit of time, but she's able to bring it back.
She's kind of not the only one we've been seeing doing that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe riding a little bit tight, trying to protect that lead she had. So she's late on that turn again, so that turn is clearly a problem. We saw it from Pene as well, and she's late on that one, not carrying much momentum. You're right there, Rachel.
So Jordy Scott making it through. Long day yesterday for her. Let's throw a headset on her and see where her head's at going into this round of 4.
Jordy, you through to the next round, but how are you feeling energy-wise after the big win last night?
I'm still carrying the momentum. A little bit sore from the crash I had earlier in the day, but I'm just trying to stay in the present time and take things one lap at a time. Some of those corners are a little bit tight, and it's hard to hold up with all the G's, but I'm going to try to keep figuring it out and hope I can make it to the big final.
Jordy, speaking of the corners, we noticed that you were a little bit low in one of those berms, lost a little speed. Luckily, you had a big buffer zone. But is the course deteriorating, and are you intentionally going low because some of the upper parts of those berms are falling apart? What's the story?
Oh, I wish. No, I'm not intentionally going low. The corners are definitely something that's not my strongest suit that I've been working on, so I just got to really consciously make sure I get up in those berms. So going to keep working on it and hope I can hold some more speed through them with the rest of the night.
Well, all the best for the next round.
Thank you.
Jordy Scott, well, we will root for her to keep those tires in their intentional line through all those berms. But Jordy Scott's going to be going up against Mathilde Bernard in the semifinals. Jill Kintner will meet up with the Kiwi, Shania Rawson, as we continue to chip through the field, cutting them in half after every round. And now the men's category, Billy Meeklum on the left against the #1 qualifier, Bass van Steenbergen. So a .2 for Bas van Steenbergen to play around with, but definitely putting Billy Meeklem within striking distance.
So Bas's first big test of pressure here. How is he going to handle it? Neck and neck. Oh, a little bit sluggish there for Billy, and you can see it. That berm is tricky on that lane.
So there you have it. Bas van Steenbergen continuing his dominance here today. The #1 qualifier moves through to the semifinals, knocking Billy Meeklem out.
I'm pretty stoked as well. Sweet.
So we don't want to jinx Bas van Steenbergen, but he's looking unstoppable right now. When you qualify first, you always want to at least make it into the finals, if not win the competition. But man,
Bas is looking clean. He is looking committed. Wow, he's firing on all cylinders so far.
so much to ask for somebody to be flawless through 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. Bas van Steenbergen awaits the result from this next heat, where he will find out who he'll meet up with in the round of 4. Undoubtedly, it will continue to be tougher and tougher for Bas van Steenbergen, because Keegan Wright and Tommy Zula really want a piece of him. 0.09 of a second belonging to Keegan Wright. Is there enthusiasm out of the crowd?
They got the wrong guy. This is Tommy Zula. Keegan Wright here for the next slot into the semi-finals. Hometown heroes out front so far. He's clean through the turn. Wow, it is a slower lane though.
Okay, 0.09 of a second. Look at that. Tommy Zula advancing.
I guess he's not the current world champion of pump track for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he took the win in Whistler. And that was the last time we had a Crankworx pump track race. So if he's able to back it up here, it could be the start of a bit of a streak.
Yeah, Keegan's lane is definitely a little bit slower through those turns, so that's something to watch for the rest of the evening. But Tommy Zula committed.
All right, I wonder if there's one lane that's faster than the other. I know somebody who will be able to answer that question. Let's throw it down to Tommy Zula.
Tommy, great ride there. We're thinking one lane is a little bit faster. What's your feeling on that?
I really think it depends on which way you like turning. For me, I like going to the left, so I think the left lane, the first turn's holding up a little bit better too.
Yeah, NASCAR style, Ricky Bobby style, turning left. So this is not the only event you compete in at the Crankworx Festivals, but we saw you take the win in Whistler. Is this your favorite discipline?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a huge pump track fan.
Well, all the best. You are through to the semi-final, and you'll be matching up against Bas.
Oh, right on. Let's get it.
Yeah, go for it, Tommy. It sounds like he just realized that that's who he's going up against. So good job sharing that information with him. Hey, Tommy, you got to go up against the #1 qualifier. Yep, work's cut out for you. Ooh, Rachael, your man is in the gate.
Yes, he is.
He's got 0.04 of a second over Collin Hudson, which is a half of a blink of an eye. So looking for a flawless run here out of Kyle Strait.
Ready, watch the gate.
And do you by chance know which is the favorite way he likes to turn? Because I hope it's right, because this is a crucial turn.
Yeah, he does like the right turn a bit more. He likes them both, actually.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Okay, Collin Hudson upsetting that 0.04 of a second he had behind Kyle Strait. He will send Kyle packing. Collin Hudson moving on into the semifinals.
Yeah, I really think that lane, even if you do like turning right, it's a tricky berm there. It looks like it's cutting up more than the other side.
Yeah,
any
earlier to
mistakes
me,
here?
The other lane was running faster, I felt, earlier.
So Kyle Strait currently leading the Kings standings, leaving the door open for somebody else in the field to capitalize, earn some points, potentially knock him out. we'll see how the cookie crumbles. It's the start of a long, long season here. Rachael Strait competing in so many different events. All right, 116 BPM for Bubba Warren right now.
Well, he looks calmer than that that graphic shows us.
Well, looks can be deceiving, even though he has almost a max diff against Tuhoto Ariki Pene. Ariki Pene with his work cut out for him.
Well, in a racing context, it is checkers or wreckers for Pene here. He's got to come out swinging and just hope for a miracle, hope for a mistake from Bubba. He's doing that. He's got the wheel ahead, so Bubba would hopefully be pushing here, but you know what? He must know how much time he's got in the bank here.
Yeah, Bubba is a vet. He qualified second for good reason. He knows the advantage he had, so keeping it safe there and into the semifinals. So Austin Warren started out the week with a huge qualification result in dual slalom. Things didn't go his way, so now an opportunity for some redemption as a huge second place qualification is leading him to advancement now into the semifinals.
Cam, I'd like to see what their heart rate is at the finish line.
I know, can we do that?
Yeah, what is that? It's got to be up in the high 100s, right? Maybe 200?
We've been guessing, but I would think at least in the 160s, 170s.
I think I don't breathe the entire time.
It sounds like we
Maybe
cannot
you
get
should
his heart
start
rate at
breathing.
the final, but one thing we can do is talk to Bubba. Yo, man.
Yo, Bubba. Good
How's it
job.
going, guys?
You're through to the semi-final. We've been asking a few riders, have you got a favorite lane out there?
You know, the left side is the side that everyone's pretty much dominant on right now, I feel like. And I don't know, the corners is holding up better. The dirt's a little better, and the corner, the S turn's like just a little easier. So I don't know, it's just pump track. Everyone's really faster right now. So just like you guys were saying, I was listening, we don't know who the winner is right now. So
Okay. Quick quiz to just see how well you know your body. I know you train really hard. We know what your heart rate was at the beginning of that run. What do you think it was?
you know, I've seen my heart rate go up to like 190. So I don't know.
122.
Wow, that's pretty low for that.
You were at like 78 at the beginning of your first run, so things are ramping up.
Yeah.
So it's great to see you moving through the next round. I'm sure that heart rate's going to continue to spike.
Oh, yeah. The gate is the hardest. I think the key of the whole event right now is just the gate. So get that and just control the speed from there and just control the race when you can just know your head and just know what you can do. So it'll be good.
Well, all the best. You're through the semi-final.
Thank you.
Good luck, Bubba.
All right, let's see if Bubba can make that second place qualification result count and get some retribution from the way the cookie crumbled in slalom earlier on in the week. He's going to have to do it against Collin Hudson, the man who knocked out Rachael Strait, so that's not going to be an easy path by any means. Tommy Zula and Bas van Steenbergen will be a huge race, the man who won Whistler Pump Track and the guy who's #1 qualifier. So, as we promised you, we would start out fun and games, and then we would ramp it up in intensity and be able to see what Austin Warren's heart rate does with these situations. But now it's time to get back to the women. Semifinals are set. Jill Kintner going up against Shania Ross, and Mathilde Bernard will face up against Jordy Scott, who's on fire this week. First heat we'll see is Jill Kintner and Shania Rawson. Crowd going crazy for Shania. But Jill's got a lot of history here too. She stood on the top of the box. She's got a lot of fans, always making time for the kids out there, signing autographs, etc. Look at some stats. This is why they know this name.
The Queen of Crankworx a whole 3 times, but look at that, 12 pump track wins. That's going to be tough for anyone to ever match. The GOAT, for good measure, the greatest of all time here at our Crankworx events.
All right, Rachel. Jill Kintner versus Shania Ross, and who do you have your money on?
It's hard to choose. I don't want to pick favorites, but statistically, I think Jill's the one we got to put our money on.
If you were placing a bet, Jill Kintner would be smart money, but Shania Rawson has been on fire. She qualified 4th. Here we go.
You're not getting good odds on that bet for Jill Kintner. You might even lose money putting money on her. But mistakes can and will happen in pump track. It's such a short discipline, you can't make it back up.
Jill through the line, 0.34 ahead of Shania Rawson. Doing it the way she does it. Listen to those birds. Is that a kiwi?
A wild one.
All right. Mathilde Bernard on the left side of your screen going up against Jordy Scott. We've been talking about her all night. Jordy Scott qualified second. She finished second in Whistler 7 months ago to Jill Kintner. Will they meet up again in the final here? Let's see what happens.
So potential on that slower lane. Mathilde Bernard, former winner of the event. Looking clean so far. She's riding flawlessly through those turns that are a problem. And there you have it. Losing some ground.
Wow.
Jordy Scott will take that advantage. 0.3 of a second. One of the bigger margins we've seen when both riders have been clean.
So Jordy Scott, so strong in all these two-wheel disciplines. If it's got two wheels, she's down to try it. Expect to see her learning even more tricks for speed and style. If you're a fan of two wheels like Jordy Scott, well, you might also be a fan of four wheels. At least give it a try. Try it on for size. Take a look at this, the FIA World Rally Championship 2020 taking place in Guanajuato, Mexico, March 13th through the 17th. You can catch all that action on Red Bull TV. I like that song.
Where do I sign up for that? You said...
You would probably do well.
For World Rally. Oh, just rally in general.
I could be your co-driver.
I don't think that's a great idea, but if it gets me a chance to drive one, let's do it. I don't mind.
What, you don't trust me?
No, he doesn't trust himself. I've driven from the venue to the hotel with this guy,
maybe
white
I
knuckle.
shouldn't trust him, right?
Yeah.
I think it's, yeah.
He's looking out for your best
That is very
interest.
brave. It would be my first time in a World Rally car. I wouldn't want anyone in the car with me.
I trust you. You'd have to answer to Kyle if anything happened.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy Zula is looking to answer to the #1 qualifier, Bass van Steenbergen. This will be tight. The man who won in Whistler going up the #1 quali.
It's a good start from both these men. Bass edging ahead. Can he get a consistent turn though? Looking fast.
Jeez.
He's carrying great speed. That's the fastest we've seen out of that lane.
Oh my. Bass van Steenbergen getting faster as we work our way through these brackets, putting 0.13 on Tommy Zula. It's almost like he knows how much he has to push depending on who he's going up against, because he's going faster as we work through the brackets. So Collin Hudson and Austin Warren, the next heat loaded into the gate. Austin Warren, #2 qualifier. Let's see what his heart's doing.
Oh, it's bumping up. These guys are getting less rest in between these races, so that will be a factor in that heart rate. But the pressure is rising, so decreasing that heart rate, doesn't matter how good you are with your breath, is going to be harder and harder.
Rod is ready. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
Whoa.
Bubba's got some fans in the crowd, but he's a wheel behind. Looks like he's carrying good momentum that back straight.
Okay. Austin Warren through the line, 0.12 ahead of Collin Hudson. Yeah, for a second there, I thought Collin was gaining on him, but that final straightaway, Austin is so strong there. Let's take a look back at Bubba on that final straight.
So that final straightaway is actually set up by that first turn. He's carrying such good pace into that last berm. And Bubba's going to take the advantage into the next run. So, it's quite late on that turn. And that's where he's lost a bit of that time and momentum into the final straight.
Well, there we go. Names illuminated in yellow signifying the advantage belonging to those riders. Bastian Steenbergen grabs that advantage over Tommy Zula. Austin Warren grabs the advantage over Collin Hudson. The collision course between number 1 and number 2 qualifiers looking like it's a real reality here in the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. We're going to find out who's going to the finals after the break. Don't go away. Right smack dab in the middle of semi-final racing action here live from Rotorua, New Zealand. It's the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. Plenty of valuable points on the line along with prize money, bragging rights, the whole kit and caboodle. A nice spot in the highlight reel. All those things that matter so much in the sport of mountain biking at the festivals we know and love known as Crankworx. I'm your host, Cam McCall, alongside Rachael Strait, Andrew Needling. Things are heating up, right? We always talk about pump track being chill, and then it gets serious. Who you guys got your money on going into the finals here?
Go first, ladies first.
I got Jill Kintner, and Bass is just riding perfect right now. Pretty flawless, so yeah.
Okay, but that's boring. We all know Jill's kind of the favorite. I'm hoping Jordy Scott's going to have something for it if she makes it through. Time is only going to tell.
All right, that's what you guys think, but anything can happen in pump track racing. We've seen it time after time in years past. So let's see if Jill Kintner can continue this flawless riding she's been known for, or if we'll give the New Zealand crowd something to cheer about. Shania Rawson, the Kiwi, back by 0.34. Jill's looking right at us.
So Jill with 0.3 seconds to play with, potentially on the faster lane here, smooth through the back berm. And Rachel, you were talking about it. She is committed, but it's all the preparation she does. We know how hard she works in the off season.
Jill definitely focuses on skill and technicality a lot in her training, which shows through in racing.
So Rachel, you've kind of been killing it breaking down the technique. Tell us what it is about this run from Jill Kintner that exemplifies her precision as an athlete.
Well, she got a really good gait, pushed forward over the spine, didn't break too much over it, and landed perfectly on the backside to get a good pump, focused in on the corners, stayed middle, and kept her pump and manuals going great throughout the run.
Well, that's how you describe it. Let's find out how Jill describes it. She's got a headset on. Let's throw it down.
Jill, you talk about it all the time, but what about the expectations everyone else puts on you to take this win?
What about them?
That's not an answer. I mean, they've got to be creeping into your head when you get here. Now you're through to the final. I mean, what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about trying to get every little bit perfect and good starts. Not that exciting.
Jill, did you miss hanging out with us? We thought you were.
I did.
we're like.
I always do. I couldn't resist coming back. I like all the high fives on the way, and it's pretty sweet to make like a little arena down here. It feels pretty epic.
The people love you. We love you. Thanks for coming back.
Was Rachel up there too?
She still is. You want to talk to her?
I liked the breakdown. I heard it.
You're looking good out there, Jill. Keep it up.
Thanks, guys.
Well, there you have it, Jill. Good luck in the final.
Jill Kintner,
She's
making
hard
it look
to get
easy.
those answers you want. She doesn't like opening up at all.
She's too focused, you know? You can't break that concentration from her.
And that's why she's won it 12 times. She focused on technique. She focused on her own race, nothing else.
So good to have her back. I mean, Jordy Scott was probably hoping she wasn't going to come back, because if she wasn't in Whistler, Jordy Scott would have taken the gold. She had the silver there. She's hoping to meet up with Jill Kintner for a little bit of redemption in the final here, but she's going to have to get past Mathilde Bernard.
So can Jordy do it? She's holding good pace from that slower lane. That is a strong ride by her.
Yeah, Jordy Scott had the advantage going into that run, so she will skate easily through into the final. Well, that's going to be pretty good. A mirror image of the final we saw in Whistler 7 months ago. Jill Kintner going up against Jordy Scott. Both of them have a gold already this week. And now only one can repeat gold.
And there we have it. Gold medal matchup is set. It's Jill Kintner versus second qualified Jordy Scott. Shania Rawson, she will take Mathilde Bernard in that bronze medal matchup.
So Bas van Steenbergen, the #1 qualifier today, but also earlier on in the week in slalom. But things did not go his way in slalom. Rachel, your main man, your hubby, Rachael Strait, put it to him. This is how it went down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I was biting my nails on that one for sure.
But all through the evening, I spoke to him afterwards. It was like he was trying to throw it away. He kept making mistakes, but luckily he pulled back from them.
So a snap chain in run #1, and then that crazy bobble in run #2. But he had a big enough advantage because Bas van Steenbergen had a bobble in run #1. So that was one of those races that just comes down to the wire. Rachael Strait took the gold, but Bas van Steenbergen an opportunity to get a gold medal here again. He's been the master of qualification. Can he make it count in pump track? He has a 0.13 advantage over Tommy Zula.
Ready, watch the gate.
Bas van Steenbergen easily got the most track speed here tonight.
Oh.
Little bit deep over that spine, not losing too much speed. Oh, a little bobble from him.
Okay,
but he's
remember,
so strong on the pumping, though. Can he bring it back?
It's going to be so close.
Oh, it's going to be enough.
No way.
Luckily for him, even after the bobble. No. I thought he had 0.2.
He had 0.13.
Wow.
Yeah. So Bass van Steenbergen just 0.03 of a second away. Oh, jeez.
God, I love this shit.
Whoa, there we go. We do as well, especially exciting racing we've seen here. Tommy Zula, wow. Upsetting Bass van Steenbergen. Let's see if we can see that mistake. It's coming up here. And there it is.
I mean,
oh
it's
my
so
word,
subtle.
it's so subtle, but it just saps all his momentum down the back straight here.
That's
oh,
what 0.03 of a second looks like right there. That subtle little mistake, he only needed 0.03 more. I'll tell you what I think is cool. When I first met Tommy Zula, it was his first Crankworx Festival a couple years ago in Whistler, 2018. And he was so enthusiastic coming from BMX. He's like, this mountain bike stuff is amazing, and he has lost no enthusiasm. Here's Clint Eastwood, Austin Warren. He would never show weakness in the form of enthusiasm. Look at this guy. We caught up with Bubba earlier on in the week. Here's what he had to say.
Everyone knows, like, me as a pretty solid, consistent rider. So that's always nice to know. But, like, I want to win. Like, last race we did at Crankworx at Whistler, me and Mitch were right at it. So 1-2. So, and then was one spot of getting the overall for dual slalom and one spot from getting the overall for pump track. So it's, I'm like, oh, come on. Like, I know I can do it, and the bikes are there.
Bubba's the man to beat now with the #1 qualifier out of the race. He's the fastest qualifier still in the #2 spot. 120 BPMs for him at the start right here, so a little bit calmer than run #1. He's stoked about those commercial breaks we go to. He has an advantage of 0.12 ahead of Collin Hudson.
So will another BMXer upset the mountain bikers here at Crankworx? Clean for both of them. It's neck and neck down this first straight. Clean. Oh no! I spoke too soon. Commentators cursed there for Bubba.
Okay, he has 0.12 to play with. What's it going to be? 0.3. Oh man, Collin Hudson takes it out from under Austin Warren. This is so crazy. #1 qualifier out. #2 qualifier out. Opening up the door.
Well, that is
Collin
frustrating,
Hudson.
hey Cam.
Oh man, Bubba's got to be pissed.
That turn, there's just something happening in that. It's just, oh, it's unweighted him. He hasn't been able to keep that momentum going on the back straight. That is so frustrating, and he knew that turn was difficult.
So, Collin Hudson, the human emoji, into the final.
And that's where going slow to go fast pays off. Oh, man.
I think it's a condition. He actually can't make his face not smile. Collin Hudson, so excited to be into the gold medal matchup, but Austin Warren still an opportunity. This is kind of cool. The bronze medal matchup, #1 and #2 qualifier. They can still take home some hardware and some valuable points. Tommy Zula and Collin Hudson will compete for the gold medal. Now, see, you guys were making predictions earlier, and we're like, oh yeah, that's obvious, but it didn't really shake down that way, did it?
No, I guess that's why you shouldn't ever try and predict the future.
Well, it's going to be tough for those guys to get reset. Who's going to actually get motivated for that bronze medal, often kind of just botching getting to the final?
Well, a medal's a medal, so they better focus up, you know?
There's going to be some enthusiasm fuel in the gold medal matchup, and then there's going to be some anger motivation in the bronze medal matchup. So I'm going to stick around and watch both of those. Wouldn't want to miss a minute of it. How about the women's category? This is the way it's looking. New Zealand's Shania Rawson going up against France's Mathilde Bernard.
Ooh, great start by Matilda.
Big start from her, and in the fast lane. Hungry for that bronze medal. And managing to hold the lead, but Shania coming back a bit on this back straight.
So Mathilde putting experience to work there. She has a 0.15 advantage over Shania Rawson. Still a very manageable deficit for Rawson. Look at that start. She said that's where she felt like she was losing some speed. She definitely was going up instead of out on that start. That was pretty much 0.15. She could have made up there if she had a stronger start.
Oh, starting with no chain is such a foreign feeling.
It's all in the pelvic thrust.
And the braking, holding that back brake and letting it go right when you want it to.
So, 0.15, the gap between Mathilde Bernard and Shania Rawson. This is going to be the happiest final I've ever seen. I mean, both these guys.
Is he rapping?
Walking, talking emojis.
And their teammates, no less.
Team managers pretty psyched right now. Along with the crowd we have on hand here for stop number 1 of the Crankworx World Tour. All right, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. 2 pissed off individuals who wanted a gold medal.
Hey,
duking it out for the bronze.
This is literally the final that could have been the final. So we said that all night long. Wow, look at Bubba. He is pumped up. 130 beats per minute there. That's the highest we've seen with him in the start cake. That is anger right there. So neck and neck, this is fierce. Look at the track speed from Bass. Holding speed on that slower lane at Bubba. He's going to take the advantage here.
Okay, Bubba through the line, 0.36 ahead of Bass. But like you said, Bass being on the slower lane there, do you think he can muster up 0.36?
It's going to be tough. I just think he's deflated after last night qualifying fastest, throwing it away, missing a flag. Now again, he's made a mistake not getting to the final, so it's just tough, you know. The adrenaline's just out of his sails right now. Yeah, that was a strong last straight from Bubba. 0.36 is a decent margin. Oh, shame. Look at that.
What do you think, Rachel? We're looking at the course right now. A lot of holes in those berms. Do you think it's deteriorating, getting a little bit slick?
Yeah, I would definitely say the right course is deteriorating a bit more than the left. You can see here on the screen that it's got some big holes up there now.
It's kind of like, okay, do your fastest run, no room for mistakes, on the course that's more beat up than it's been all night.
Hold on and pray, right?
Look at this. This is familiar. This is what we saw in Whistler. Jill Kintner going up against Jordy Scott. Jordy Scott with an opportunity to get up to the top step of that podium in pump track. She was only 1 spot off 7 months ago.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Look at that focus by Jill. She's got to be patient here, though, because
look at Jordy.
Yeah, but she's got to be patient because this is where the turns are tough for her. We pick her up. It looks like she was clean today. But still losing momentum.
Okay, Jordy Scott with the advantage over Jill Kintner. This is going to be really interesting. It's so incredibly rare that we see Jill Kintner with a red box above her name.
But in 2018, we saw it so often. She'd lose the first heat, and then the next run, she would come out swinging.
Okay, let's look back at this run right here. See if it was a matter of Jordy Scott just being flawless, or if there's any mistakes you can identify from Jill.
Well, good start from Jordy, wasn't it, Rachel?
Yeah, definitely got a little bit of jump on Jill there. They both manual the same roller, too, which you haven't seen a lot of that out of the women.
So Jordy is clean. Great out of that back berm, carrying good momentum. Jill did not get good speed at all out of that back berm. Is it because of the course or because it's a mistake?
Well, it's all about the strength in the legs, but also the arms. Jordy Scott just seems to have so much strength in the arm pumps.
I think
Not the
Jordy,
bad kind of arm pump, the good
Jordy
kind.
had her pre-workout or caffeine, and she is pumped right now.
Would you say she was in some sort of hot spa?
Oh, I saw her at Polynesian, so maybe that's the ticket.
Don't tell anybody. That seems to be the secret.
Just have a bit of a spa, relax before finals.
Somebody's relaxed. I mean, these guys are having more fun than anybody out here, but it's time to get down to business.
Heart rate on Zula. This guy is pumped up.
Tommy Zula against Collin Hudson, the gold medal matchup for the men.
He is pumped. Can he go back-to-back, winning last year in Whistler, coming out firing here at the first round in Rotorua in 2020. So this again is where he's going to need to be patient. He's on the slow lane. Jill, I think, made a little bit of a mistake. He's looking good through those turns, though. That is good momentum for the slow lane. Look at Tommy Zula.
Tommy, whoa.
Ooh, a tie.
A tie? Insane.
Wow, that is exciting. But I think that is
going to be like, dude, what's mine say?
What's your time? No, I said, what's my time? What's your time? So this notched that up for a win for Tommy Zula, if you're asking me. He was in the slow lane. He played it safe through those turns and then managed to carry good momentum out of this last berm.
I can't wait to see these guys roaming the parking lot after the race with their gold and silver medals trying to find their car.
Sipping on their bottle of champagne, right?
And there you have it. That's a dead heat, folks.
All right, teammates, obviously they train together. They have similar riding styles. They both made it into the gold medal matchup and finished at the same time. So, second run between these two guys will be a drag race. Winner takes all. Well, that's going to be some fun finish line interviews with these two gentlemen.
I'm so gassed, bro.
But look at what we have loaded up into the gate right now. Let's take a look at how we got here. Run number one looked a little something like this.
Bernard out like a rocket at the start, looking super good here. Shania Rawson managed to claw a little bit of time back, but Bernard with the advantage in the second run here of our bronze medal matchup.
So very manageable deficit here, 0.15 in favor of Mathilde Bernard.
Driver is ready, watch the gate.
Good start again from Bernard. She's got those on lockdown. Can she get through the treacherous turns? She's done it, Rachel. This is looking good for the bronze medal. A little bit sluggish there.
Oh, what's it going to be? Mathilde Bernard, the winner. Take a look at that bronze medal for her trophy cabinet. So Mathilde Bernard grabbing the bronze medal. Congratulations to her. But the big question right now is who's going to grab that gold. We got to figure out who's grabbing the bronze for the men first. And like we've been saying all night, this could have been a final. The number 1 and 2 qualifiers. This is the highest we've seen Bubba's heart rate.
Look at it
all
climb.
night.
But they're getting no rest though. The rest is not helping that heart rate.
So here's what run number 1 looked like.
So it was neck and neck until this tricky berm section. That's where Bass started losing some momentum. Bubba Warren out front, taking the advantage into run 2 of the bronze medal matchup.
So 0.36 is what Bass van Steenbergen will have to make up against Austin Warren. Here we go. Bronze medal matchup.
Looks like clean starts from both of them. Bass got the wheel ahead so far. Can Bubba navigate these turns that have got people unstuck? Oh, this is good. I think it's going to be enough for Bubba.
Look at that. He needed a .36. He only got a .22. So that means Austin Bubba Warren will grab the bronze medal.
That is disappointing for Bass after qualifying fastest. Clearly looking like he had the most track speed, but Bubba Warren making it count, gets the bronze medal.
That was a good lap right there.
Yeah, it was.
I slowed up so much for the S's on that side.
So there you hear it. He's saying he was slowing up, being patient in that tricky turn.
So both of them happy with their runs, but the medal going to Austin Warren. There's something you'll never see your husband do at the finish line of a race.
He might do that kind of hug.
Just a half hug?
Yeah, just not a full on.
So we are moments away from getting to the conclusion of our pump track race, but that will not be the final competition of stop number 1 of the Crankworx World Tour. We'll be back tomorrow. Downhill Sunday, 3:30 p.m. local time here. If you're hanging out on the west coast of North America, you can find us here at 6:30. And if you're in Europe, I totally missed what it said, so check your local listings. But downhill, that's going to be fun tomorrow, Andrew.
Yeah, it'll be early in the morning for you if you're in Europe. So check on Red Bull TV or the app and see what time you need to tune in. But we've got way more exciting stuff about to happen right now.
Okay, here's how we got here.
Well, Jill Kintner, our #1 qualifier, looking fast on track all night. Jordy Scott, though, putting the pressure on Jill, and Jill was sluggish out of this back turn. Look at the speed Jordy's carrying down that back straight.
So, this is something we do not see very often. Jill Kintner with some work to do. She's got to make up .38. Can Jordy Scott go 2 nights in a row with a gold medal?
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Good start from both of them, yeah, Rachel.
Yeah.
Jordy Scott's got the wheel ahead. Can she get through these turns? It's looking good. I don't think Jill's going to be able to do it. Jordy Scott keeping her honest.
Man,
this is a huge
Jordy
upset.
Scott is going to take that gold medal out from under the champ.
What
Jill
just
Kintner.
happened there, Cam?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. Good job.
I think Jill's thinking the same thing. Great sportsmanship from them. Wow, what a race.
Oh, wow, there is a new face in town. Jordy Scott, of course, hopping onto the scene last year with some medals, but back-to-back golds here in the last 2 nights. And we're going to have to start talking about the Queen Hunt if Jordy Scott continues at this rate.
Jordy said she'd been struggling with the turns that something she's working on, but this is what she did so well here tonight. She navigated that tricky S-bend with ease.
So Jordy Scott from St. George, Utah, showing she has what it takes to really shake things up here at Crankworx. Let's talk to her, Andrew.
Jordy, what a run. Describe the feeling right now.
I'm so stoked. I mean, this has been a lot of years in the making since my first Crankworx when I was 16, so I'm really happy to finally make this happen, and it was just a really good run, and I'm really happy I was able to get it done.
Well, we are taking you seriously right now, Jordy Scott. So amazing. What year was your first Crankworx?
I want to say 2017, yeah, in Whistler. So the past few years I've raced at Whistler, and this is my first year doing the World Tour, so it's off to a good start. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, good job, Jordy. Exciting 2 nights in a row gold medal, so I can't wait to see what those Queen of Crankworx points are looking like.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, that was I was really excited to see how it stack up this year against the people who have ran for Queen or been Queen. So far it's actually looking pretty good. After air downhill and dual slalom, I didn't do quite as good as everybody else did, but I'm working on them, and I'm really happy with my results in these past 2 events.
Well, you ask and we shall receive there, Cam. Jill Kintner out front with 340, but look at Jordy Scott. 211 starting to creep up that leaderboard.
Absolutely. And you know what? Now that she realizes she's so close, she can know what to practice for. Work on some of those downhill skills, because that's where she can get some more points. But 2 goals in a row. Thank you so much for putting on a great show, Jordy Scott. Now this is going to be good. These guys are having a blast. And in case anybody out there has issues with their short-term memory, let's remind you how we found ourselves here. This is what run number 1 looked like. Look at this. Are you seeing double? Have you had too many beers? What's going on here?
Yeah, well, I know me and you both have short-term memory, but I won't forget this. These guys came out swinging. Tommy Zula on the slow lane. It was a dead heat.
Same team, same gear, similar approach. For those of you who struggle with math, this should be easy. The gold medal will go to, simply put, the rider who crosses the finish line first.
So thanks to these 2 riders making it simple for us. It's down to 1 run here. It's your gold medal. Looks like good starts from both these men. Who's going to crack under pressure first? Looked like a little bobble from Zula there in the first straight. This is where it counts. Wow, is it going to be a tie?
What is it? What is it?
Oh my goodness. Tommy Zula has done it. 0.01. The man is on top of the world. Wow.
100th of a second? Are you kidding me?
I don't think it could have been any closer.
A perfect tie in run number 1, and then 100th of a second is what does it. Tommy Zula going back-to-back pump track wins. He won in Whistler last August. He takes it here in Rotorua to kick off the 2020 season. The crowd's going nuts. I haven't seen that much enthusiasm in a crowd for a pump track final ever.
That was exciting, but Zula, what a man. He is pumped on that. How can you not get behind the guy? He's made it more exciting than it ever could have been.
Oh, this is so good. So
these boys are definitely celebrating tonight.
We're going to be using this highlight all season, so let's look back on it for the first time right now.
So good starts from both of them. Over the store wall. I am speechless, dumbfounded. Almost like a little mistake there, but he got the pump.
I like to picture them rooming together at the hotel, brushing their teeth together at the same time, staring in the mirror. Okay. Tommy Zula, let's catch him before the enthusiasm wears off, as if it ever would. Tommy!
Hey, boys, we're not even just brushing teeth together. We're actually been sharing a bed.
Well, that explains it, Tommy. I'm too scared to ask what you're feeling because you've been displaying it all night to the fans. Yeah. Well done. Talk us through that final.
Man, the final was nuts. Like, Collin beat me in qualifying, and I honestly wasn't feeling the course at all, even from practice this morning. So I'm just over the moon. I think just got my head in the right place and just pushed it, gave it everything I had.
Well, sorry, Cam, go for it.
Tommy, when I first met you, it was a couple years ago in Whistler, and that was your first Crankworx Festival. You were coming off of BMX, and you just loved everything about this sport. I feel like you've really found your home. Are you going anywhere? Are you going to finish off the whole rest of the tour with us, or what?
Oh, man, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't doing the whole tour.
That's right. Well, Tommy, great work out there. We got to thank you and Collin for putting on such a ridiculous show for you. That's got to be the most entertaining pump track final we've ever seen. So thanks for the showmanship out there, gentlemen.
Man, anytime, guys. Thanks, everyone, for coming. I had a killer time, and I love Crankworx.
Well, you go enjoy it, and don't get too crazy tonight.
There we go. King of Crankworx standings as they sit right now. Look at that. Rachael Strait holding on to the lead by 1 measly point ahead of Bass Van Steenbergen. Tommy Zula working his way onto that board right there in 6th place. Collin Hudson earning some points. Look at this. Tommy Zula and Collin Hudson, they are only 1 point away from each other too. I feel like we need to do a blood test. I feel like they might be brothers.
That was insane. I didn't need to know that they were sharing a bed. But man, that, like you said, that's easy the most exciting pump track final we have ever said. It was shaping up to be with them going dead heat on the first, but who could have predicted that next one?
I mean, unpredictability was the name of the game out here. Who would have been able to bet what the results would have been? Rachel, thanks so much for joining us. I feel like you like the microphone. Maybe we'll bring you back sometime.
I mean, I don't mind it. I'd love to come up here with you guys more often. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, we've enjoyed it, and what an upset in the ladies. But you know, I'm not being fair. Jordy Scott won the speed and style last night, so you know what? She earned every bit of that tonight.
So it's going to be a crazy season now. We're seeing who our front runners are. And the action is far from over. We still have another event for you tomorrow. It's the downhill. Thank you for joining us in the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo 7. I'm Cam McCall alongside Rachael Strait and Andrew Needling. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.